Hello everyone, welcome to today's episode of Canal Days. As always, I am your host Carrie, along with my co-host, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Coon. Our Canal Days series delves into the vast collection of historical sites throughout Massachusetts, with Robert's expertise of the local history as our personal guide. Each episode, we uncover history throughout local communities, highlighting the historic landmarks and uncovering their seminal significance. And today's episode of Canal Days, we will be introducing and canvassing the cemeteries of Westfield. So, reveal the Catholic cemeteries throughout Westfield.
There are a couple of them. There's the St. Mary's Cemetery, which is a very large one, belonging, of course, to the St. Mary's Church. It is the main Roman Catholic cemetery within the Westfield itself. It's also popular with communities around it. And it's been around from the 1860s. It has a nice chapel in the back. There's also the St. Joseph's Cemetery, which is a Polish National Cemetery. And they've changed the entrances so that they're towards the back now, so you go in there. But they have a nice priest circle area, and it caters only to those who have joined the Polish National Church. And those two cemeteries themselves are quite popular around the town, but there's a lot of Protestant ones. So we're going to talk about not only Pine Hill, but also the very small ones around the town, and where Native Americans might be buried.
So, can you inform us on Pine Hill?
The Pine Hill Cemetery is a garden-style cemetery with elevation changes, with the road curving in and out as you go along, and with a lot of beautification to it. Typical style modeled after Auburn Cemetery in Cambridge. It has a lot of famous people from Westfield and from other communities, including Albert Steiger of Holyoke. And it has a chapel, it has a series of 3 mausoleums, one of those being very old. And it has a back portion, so once you mount to the top, you're not done. You have to go down in your car and sweep it around towards the right. In the back is there with a lot of more modern burials. So it's a very big cemetery with its own administration office towards or on the other side of the road. And since it's so big and popular and a lot of famous people, it has a lot of gigantic monumental style gravestones to it. But of course there's other smaller ones, and being so recent, there's not too many old ones, but there's lots of rows to it. And so if you walk around, it's going to take quite a while to get around.
And stick around, and we'll be right back after this quick announcement. Are you fascinated by local history and eager to investigate the obscure treasures off the beaten path throughout the state of Massachusetts? Or maybe just seeking an unforgettable cultural activity for family and friends to enjoy? Look no further than Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, founded by Robert Coon. With over a decade of experience, Robert offers captivating tours and presentations of historic sites and landmarks throughout the state. Whether you're interested in canals, cemeteries, charming churches, or more, Robert's tours provide a unique and enriching experience for all. And that's not it. You can also schedule private tours tailored to your interests, ensuring a personalized adventure and unforgettable memories. Perfect for families or groups of all sizes, making for an exciting hands-on learning experience that brings history to life. Simply visit holyokecanaltour.org or email bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com to book your private tour today. Getting back to our podcast on the cemeteries of Westfield, describe the smaller Protestant cemeteries throughout Westfield for us.
There's the St. Joseph Lutheran Cemetery. I'm saying the St. John's Lutheran Cemetery. That's one on 139 Lock House Road. And it has a chapel within the side of it. And it has very ornate gates towards the front. There's a Mechanic Street Cemetery, which is the old cemetery of Westfield, made in 1683. So it has lots of burials from the early 1700s. A lot of brownstones around. It's off of Mechanic Street. It's also called the Old Burial Ground of Westfield. It has a new entrance to it that was changed along, but this is a very, very popular place to go. It has monuments inside of it, historical markers, the Shepherd Memorial Plaque, the French and Indian War Memorial, and a lot of old-time burials inside of it. There's the Middle Farms Cemetery near Russellville and North Roads. There is the Mundell Burial Ground, which is a family cemetery, and it's also not only Mundell family but Sackett family. It's along Granville Road, and it touches land owned by Stanley Park, of all things. There's the West Parish Cemetery, obviously towards the western part of Westfield. It's on Granville Road, just west of Loomis Street, and that was made in the year 1850. My favorite one is the Owen District Cemetery because it's way out on the edge of Westfield in the northeast section of town. It was built in 1808, and it was called the Owen District Cemetery because there was a work group out there. A lot of the Owen family, but other families. It has a beautiful brownstone wall around it. And inside are a couple of fenced off areas for these two families. And it's a very quaint place to go. So I hope you go visit some of these Protestant cemeteries and take delight in their old quaint look.
And to clarify, where were the Native Americans buried in Westfield?
Well, they're probably buried in a lot of places, but there's one place that a lot of Native Americans were found. The Guida Farm Native American Burial Ground. And on this location is about 58 Native American burials, and that would make it the third highest in Massachusetts. The first highest is in southeastern Massachusetts. The second highest is in Holyoke, Massachusetts, especially at one site called Depot Hill. And this one in Westfield would be the third highest. And it was probably because it was close enough to the Westfield River and the Connecticut River. So, of course, the Native Americans loved to live along the rivers. And, of course, you can't dig for anything there. And also not much is known about these burial sites. So, I wish I could tell you a lot more.
Well, thanks for listening to Canal Days and our episode on the cemeteries of Westfield, and joining us on our journey to the rich history of the Connecticut River Valley. We hope you enjoyed uncovering some of the hidden and overlooked marvels and their fascinating stories that shaped our past in the state of Massachusetts. A special thanks to Robert Camus, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, for sharing his passion and expertise with us. Remember, you can find more information about Robert's tours, book private tours, and explore the Canal Days video and podcast series at holyokecanaltour.org. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. And thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune into our next episode of Canal Days